अब आईआईटी का सपना सिर्फ सपना नहीं रहेगा। बहुत से पर्सन्स विद डिसेबिलिटीज आईआईटी में पढ़ना चाहते हैं, लेकिन एक्सेसिबल स्टडी मटेरियल, सही मेंटरिंग और एक्सपर्ट गाइडेंस ना मिलने के कारण ये सपना अधूरा रह जाता है। अब आपके सपने को पूरा करेगा CSRL सुपर 30 रेजिडेंशियल मेंटोरशिप प्रोग्राम। अगर आप एक डिसेबल्ड स्टूडेंट हैं और फ्री मेंटरिंग, एक्सपीरियंस्ड फैकल्टी, रेजिडेंशियल फैसिलिटी और बेहतरीन गाइडेंस चाहते हैं, तो आज ही जुड़े CSRL सुपर 30 से और अपने सपने को साकार कीजिए। सिर्फ 30 सीट्स अवेलेबल हैं, देर ना करें, आज ही रजिस्टर करें। कॉल 7428582416। ईमेल करें shivamsharma@csrl.in।
Hello everyone, Namaskar. I am Danish Mahajan, your host. Welcome to yet another episode of RPwD Act 2016, Reflection and Journey towards 2036. Here on Radio Udaan in collaboration with Mission Accessibility and BD Center for Legal Policy. This series is supported by Dr. Sunil Pahlajan. In this series, we are asking three simple questions. What have we achieved in 10 years? Where do the gaps still remain? And what is the road ahead for next 10 years? For this episode, we have Mr. Atul Jaduvanshi, our sign language interpreter. So it's time to welcome my co-host, Damini, Lead Disability Inclusion and Accessibility at BD Center for Legal Policy. We have very special guest today. Let's welcome first my co-host, Damini. Welcome, Damini.
Thank you so much, Danish. And today we are delighted to be joined by Dr. Raghunath Anant Mashelkar ji. He is one of India's most distinguished scientists, innovators, and foremost voices on inclusive innovation. He is a recipient of the Padma Vibhushan Award. He's a recipient of more than 50 honorary doctorates and currently the president of the Global Research Alliance. Through his vision of Gandhian engineering and the assured framework, Dr. Mashelkar has inspired approaches to innovation that are affordable, scalable, and accessible to those who need them the most. And as we mark 10 years of the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act, we are so happy to have Sir here with us today to tell us how innovation can help build a more inclusive India. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Such a pleasure.
I will get right to it, sir. It will be 10 years since the RPwDA was enacted. How would you look back on this journey? According to you, what are the areas in which we have made progress and what are the areas in which gaps still remain?
So first of all, thank you very much for having me. It's a great privilege indeed, as far as I am concerned. As regards this question of the journey that you had for 10 years since RPwDA came into force, looking back, I think we can look back with pride. The RPwD Act was much more than a legal reform. It represented a change in national thinking. For decades, disability was viewed largely through the lens of charity or through the lens of welfare. This act shifted the focus to rights, dignity, and equal opportunity. This is a profound transformation, according to me. I see the last 10 years as the beginning of a journey from sympathy to empathy, from dependence to empowerment, and from exclusion to inclusion. Have we reached the destination? Certainly not. But we have begun traveling in the right direction, according to me. The next decade should not merely be about implementing the act better. It should be about making inclusion a natural part of every policy, every technology, every institution, and every innovation. This, according to me, is a view of the 10-year wonderful journey that we had.
Thank you, sir. Sir, was there ever a person, experience, or a moment that shaped the way you think about disability inclusion, or perhaps made you see it differently?
Now, what has impressed me is the extraordinary potential of persons with disabilities whenever barriers are removed. Time and again, I have seen people whom society underestimated become extraordinary achievers once they were given the right opportunity. So, the disappointment is that the barriers are still too many. Many innovations remain inaccessible. Many public spaces remain inaccessible. Employment opportunities still remain limited. So, the challenge is not disability. According to me, the challenge is inaccessible systems. As I often say, the disability often lies not in the individual, but in us, in our society's inability to include. That's what I would like to say.
So you've often said that innovation should not just be about creating something new, but about making people's lives better. Could you tell us a little bit more about this idea and why has this been so important to the way you think about innovation?
Yes. See, this is a very important question. Innovation has never been about technology, as far as I am concerned. Technology is only a means. People are the end. A brilliant invention that never improves human life is merely an invention, not innovation. Innovation begins only when knowledge creates value for the society. So throughout my career, I have looked at it in this way. For example, I talked about Gandhian engineering. What did Mahatma Gandhi had said? That fruits of science must reach the last person, so as to say, then only science is worthwhile. He had said, God has given us enough, nature has given us enough for everyone's need, but not for everyone's greed. So use those resources carefully so that resourceless people can also sort of have them, Intellectual property, it was the same. That was my stand, that it is not the intellectual property rights, but the rights of the poor, the rights of the have-nots, the rights of the disabled. So that is why disability inclusion is one of the purest tests of innovation. I take Jaipur food, for example. I always show the Jaipur food film. And I show how a Jaipur food, which is affordable, just $30, one is able to wear and actually run a kilometer in 4 minutes 30 seconds. That film shows that person with Jaipur food running in just 1 kilometer in 4 minutes 30 seconds. And when I ask the audience, how many of you can do that? Can you just imagine not even 5% hands go up? That means a person who was disabled, empowered by innovation like Jaipur food, is able to beat 95% of them. That is the crux of the matter. So that is why, according to me, if an innovation can improve the life of the most vulnerable person, then it is truly meaningful innovation. In fact, we had got studies done on the Jaipur food wearers and how their life changed. They could do the normal jobs, they had dignity in the society, they could get married, like all of us, so as to say, which would not have been possible if they did not have. So that is where I would say innovation is all about.
To take this conversation forward, as you are rightly talking about Gandhian engineering, so two things you often talk. One is about Gandhian engineering and second, assured framework. Can you elaborate a little bit more and how it might apply to persons with disabilities?
Oh, yeah, sure. See, as far as assured framework and disability is concerned, there are many advanced assistive technologies that already exist. For example, artificial intelligence, smart prosthetics, wearables, brain-machine interface. But the real question is, can ordinary people afford them? That is why I propose the assured framework. And in that assured framework, A stands for affordable. S stands for scalable. Next, S stands for sustainable. Next, U is user-friendly. R is rapid. E is excellent. And D is distinctive. That means the assured framework means that the innovation has to be affordable, scalable, sustainable, user-friendly, rapid, excellence in terms of technology, and distinctive. And even if one of these dimensions is missing, the society loses. So wonderful product that only a few rich people can afford is not enough. The greatest innovation is one that reaches millions. And I often say innovation should create excellence for everyone, not exclusivity for a few. And that's why I use the word affordable excellence all the time, the highest quality that is available. Like I gave the Jaipur food example, in US they will have a $12,000 food which nobody can afford. We have a $30 food which we can afford. But as I mentioned, that person wearing that food is able to do 1 kilometer in 4 minutes 30 seconds, basically beating 95% of them. That is excellence. So it is affordable because it is $30, but excellence because it beats 95% of the people. So I think that is the crux of the matter as far as the assured framework is concerned.
Right. Sir, there are different types of disabilities with diverse needs. In fact, some interventions which are meant for persons with disabilities often even help senior citizens. We wanted to understand how can innovators account for so many different varied needs without losing or compromising on affordability or scale.
Yes, I think my book, More from Less for More, as a matter of fact, answers that. Because when we say more from less for more, that means you are losing less, using less resources, but creating more performance. And because you are losing less resources, it is affordable, and therefore it can be used by many, many more people. So let me give an example. In my mother's name, I have created this Anjani Mashelkar Foundation, and where we don't go for the best practices, we go for the next practices. Because when you say I'm going for the best practice, you're copying somebody's. We want My India to create next practice, which is ahead of the rest of the world, and use high technology which can work for the poor. Like I said, affordable excellence. I'll give you an example. Supposing somebody has TB, tuberculosis. What does he have to do? He has to go and take an X-ray, which is expensive. Maybe the hospital is not in the village. He has to go to the city. He has to take culture, which takes something like 1 or 2 weeks before you get the result. Instead of that, we have now technology where you have a mobile phone, you hold it in your hand, you cough, and you know where your TB. How? Because the audiometry of the iPhone or whatever you have, the mobile phone that you have, has been trained with cough as a biomarker. Because the signature of the cough, if your TB is different, asthma is different, your COPD is different, and so on and so forth, basically. What is the cost? 10 rupees. All right? Not 1,000 rupees, just 10 rupees per test. All right? Now, normally, you would use equipment which will be very expensive. Here you already have your mobile, so there is no capital cost. You will use technology which will take 45 minutes for testing. Here it is instant. You use technology which will cost you 1,500 rupees. Here you are talking about 10 rupees. So this is affordable excellence. But using the highest technology, artificial intelligence is a very high technology. So this is just one example. In fact, we have created what is called as a FX healthcare kit now, where we have bundled 6 or 7 equipment which are non-invasive. You put your finger and you know your hemoglobin. No blood taken, no time taken, nothing. Okay? Similarly, there are others where blood pressure is measured just by putting just 2 fingers. Some of them are non-invasive, but all of them are AI powered. And can you believe 20 such medical parameters, 20, can be measured in 10 minutes just for 100 rupees, just $1. You can see the difference. And they are all high technologies, by the way. All patented, all FDA approved, and so on and so forth. So it is possible for us to make high technology work for the poor, the disabled, the resource poor, and so on.
Sure, sir. Sir, when we talk about solving a problem, or when we work on some new innovations and solution, the first thought is to fix the problem. But there are other aspects also attached with that, like freedom, autonomy, and dignity. For example, if persons with disability is facing problem in wearing clothes, so we come up with the idea of adapted clothing. So adapted clothing did not only solve the problem he's wearing clothes, but also made him or her independent, so give him more dignity. So while designing the solution, do we consider such things for persons with disabilities?
Yes, I think at the heart of the innovation, too often we design for technology. We should design for people. The first question should never be what technology can we build. It should be what problem is someone's life can we solve. And the finest innovations begin with empathy before engineering. So when we listen to users, not often, not after designing, but before designing, we create solutions that people actually want to use. So in disability, users themselves are the greatest experts. In fact, the best innovations are created with persons with disabilities. And coming back again, because that was a very important question you asked, the biggest challenge is recognizing diversity without sacrificing affordability. Every disability is different, every individual is different. Fortunately, as I said, technology like AI now make personalization possible. All right? Instead of producing one standard solution for everyone, we can increasingly create customized solutions at scale. So mass production is gradually giving way to mass personalization. And to me, this is an exciting opportunity of innovation. The challenge is ensuring these customized solutions remain affordable. Again, I keep on coming back to affordable. That is where engineering, design thinking, and public policy must work together, according to me.
So going back to the RPwD Act, there is a provision there which talks about research and development. And it basically says that the appropriate government shall initiate or cause to be initiated research and development through individuals and institutions on issues which shall enhance habilitation and rehabilitation, and on such other issues which are necessary for the empowerment of persons with disabilities. Now, just wanted to understand from your experience, would you say that we have actually, what are the steps you feel in your experience we have undertaken in India, and to what extent are persons with disabilities actually involved in research and development?
Yes, that's a very good question. Because according to me, technology should never simply compensate for disability. It should enhance dignity. So take a wheelchair. It is not merely about mobility, it is about freedom. Accessible clothing is not merely about dressing, it is about self-respect. Accessible communication is not merely information, it is about participation. So every innovation should therefore ask three questions. Does it increase independence? Does it preserve dignity? Does it expand opportunity? And when all these three are achieved, then innovation becomes truly human-centered. And therefore, according to me, the people who have undergone that particular experience, have done that experiential learning, are the best suited, as a matter of fact, to get involved in sort of the design, development and deployment. It is very fundamental, according to me, that inclusion has to involve not just in terms of the use, but in terms of concept to, ideas to impact the entire journey. I would put it this way.
So, sir, I have last couple of questions. One, as we are talking about 10-year completion of RPwD Act. So now what we see in India, we have a whole lot of policies. We have act, we have policies. Now awareness is increasing. What is not happening is compliance or implementation. That's a big challenge. How do you see it? And the follow-up question will be, as we complete 10 years of RPwD Act, now what are the three most important changes you want to see in next 10 years?
Yes. I think first let me answer this question in terms of three changes that I would like to see. I think the first is accessibility should become universal. In a sense, every building, every website, every public service, every digital platform, accessibility should become invisible, because now it has become normal. How do we make that? I think that is very, very important. Second is India should become the global leader in affordable assistive technologies. Just as India became the pharmacy of the world, we should become the world's innovation hub for affordable assistive technologies. That would be a significant contribution to humanity, and we are capable of doing that. The third is we should move from inclusion to leadership, because persons with disabilities should not merely participate. They should lead as entrepreneurs. They should lead as scientists. They should lead as artists. They should lead as teachers. They should lead as public servants. They should lead as members of parliament. The true measure of inclusion is not whether people are invited to the room. It is whether they are helping shape the future. They are given place at the right place at the table. I would like to see these sort of three. And as far as your first question is concerned, I think I would look at it like this. The RPwD Act gave India a legal framework. The next decade must give India an innovation framework for inclusion. My dream is that we stop asking, how do we help persons with disabilities? And we start asking, how do we unlock their extraordinary abilities that reside within them? Every human being has immense potential. I always say that everyone is someone, and minds on the margin are not marginal minds. That is very important. Inclusion is not about lowering standards. It is about removing barriers. When we do that, persons with disabilities do not become beneficiaries of progress. They become creators of progress. That's a major change that we have to. That is the India that I dream of, and that is the India we can build together. Thank you.
Sir, if you can summarize, or if you can share your thoughts, the question I asked about implementation and compliance. So we have policies, but implementation is poor. How do you view that?
Yeah, no, that is, I think there are three qualities that I consider important: innovation, compassion, and passion. Innovation in the mind, compassion in the heart, and passion in the belly. Okay? And therefore, the cry for being compassionate is extremely important. You know, like Nobel laureate Satyarthi has created this movement, compassion movement, around the world today. Because if that fundamental compassion for those who do not have what you have is not there, then nothing will sort of happen. It cannot be forced. It has to come from within inside. And that is very, very critical. And like I said, fundamentally, we should not be looking at compliance is something that is being done as an obligation. It is not an obligation. It has to be considered as a fundamental duty. It should be included in the fundamental duties of a citizen. I would put it this way, because there are many things that law says do it and you don't do it. Okay? That will not simply work. You don't do things simply because you are breaking the law if you don't do that. You do that because it is good for you and good for them. It is good for your conscience. It is good for you to have a good sleep at night, that I did something good, you know. So doing well is important, but doing well by doing good is even more important. I would put it this way. Even the business must look at it like this.
Dr. Mashelkar, any final words, any message for society?
I think I mentioned that right in the beginning, that in terms of human, in terms of the progress that we have made, the RPwD Act gave persons with disability legal rights. The next decade must give them innovation-enabled opportunities.
Thank you so much, sir. It's great honor having you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. Thank you.
तो लिसनर्स, आज हमने RPwD एक्ट 2016 रिफ्लेक्शन एंड जर्नी टुवर्ड्स 2036 को लेके एक मुलाकात की, एक कन्वर्सेशन की रिनाउंड साइंटिस्ट डॉक्टर माशेलकर सर के साथ। एक साइंटिफिक व्यू पॉइंट, एक नजरिया हमारे पास आया। कैसा लगा आपको एपिसोड? हमें कमेंट करके बताइएगा। आने वाले दिनों में, जैसे हमने बताया, इस सीरीज का मकसद है भारत की टॉप 10 लीडिंग वॉइसेस को शोज में के साथ कन्वर्सेशन करना, उनका नजरिया RPwD एक्ट के बारे में क्या। अगर आपको लगता है कि आप कुछ ऐसी पर्सनैलिटी सुजेस्ट कर सकते हैं जिनको आप सुनना चाहते हैं, तो भी आप हमें कमेंट कर सकते हैं। फिलहाल इस एपिसोड में इतना ही। सो योर फाइनल वर्ड, दामिनी।
Thank you, Danish, Atul and Radio Udaan. And to our wonderful audience, thank you so much for listening. And stay tuned for more conversations in the series.
So this series is here on Radio Udaan in collaboration with Vidhi Center for Legal Policy and Mission Accessibility, supported by Dr. Sunil Pehlajani. Thank you, Atul ji. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Once again, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
फ्रेंड्स सबको चाहिए, कंपेनियनशिप की जरूरत सबको होती है, और सबको चाहिए अपने मनपसंद का लाइफ पार्टनर। लेकिन पर्सन्स विद डिसेबिलिटीज के लिए ये इतना आसान नहीं होता। एक तो सोशल स्टिग्मा, और ऊपर से ज्यादातर एप्स इनएक्सेसिबल। अब हो जाइए टेंशन फ्री, क्योंकि आपके लिए लॉन्च हो चुकी है इंडिया की ओनली इंक्लूसिव और एक्सेसिबल सोशल ऐप। जी हाँ, बड़ी अप नेटवर्क ऐप, जहां आप बना सकते हैं फ्रेंड्स, ढूंढ सकते हैं कंपेनियन, और पा सकते हैं अपना लाइफ पार्टनर भी। तो आज ही डाउनलोड कीजिए बड़ी अप नेटवर्क ऐप और बढ़ाए एक कदम दोस्ती की ओर। अवेलेबल इन हिंदी एंड इंग्लिश। ज्यादा जानकारी के लिए आप ईमेल कर सकते हैं admin@buddyyup.network पर। बड़ी अप नेटवर्क, अब दोस्त ढूंढने की छुट्टी।